Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present to you Scrub Zero. So I finally got through looking at the Mavs and the Suns game one. Um, Mavs had a tough time with things. They really, they scored points, but it was a lot of difficult shots, a lot of settling, at least from what I've seen. They made Luka work, even though he had 40 points. He was forcing shots. He was over dribbling. Took a lot of bad shots, in my opinion. He settled. There was mid range shots he had. He'd either I remember once he went back for a three. He did make that, but I didn't think that was a good shot. And then he would try to get to the rim and either take a difficult shot or pass out. He's got to be better. He was not good enough. And if he's going to continue playing like that, it will be a short series. Shout out to Polo because he does some of the things he said. But I would disagree with Polo with Jalen Brunson. He had a bad game. He got in that early foul trouble. 2 fouls in the first quarter. Picked up the third in the second. So at least that first half, a lot of the ball handling was done by Luka because of the foul trouble by Brunson. Now, Luka does need to play more off ball. And when he is playing off ball, he has to take the mid-range shot. Brunson, he just has to not get in foul trouble. He doesn't get in foul trouble, I think it'll be all right. At least as far as the ball handling duties. But you need something more from Bullock and Dinwiddie. Bullock gave you a 4-point play. Aside from that, he was a liability. He was poor defensively, and he didn't give you anything else offensively. Dinwiddie didn't do much offensively either. They were virtually bodies. Cleaver gave you some good minutes, but can you count on him to give you that kind of shooting, as in to score those kind of points? I personally don't think that's a good idea. I don't think he can give you some scoring off the bench, but that's not going to be good enough. And Ayton has a mismatch no matter who he goes against. He holds the mismatch. And as long as he holds the mismatch, it's going to be a long. It's going to be a short. It's going to be a long series for Dallas, at least in the sense of, damn, you got to do all this work to hold down Ayton, because Ayton doesn't have to score 25 to have an impact in this series. He gives you 15. He could give you 15 rebounds in a game. If he gives you rebounds and scoring, that's no good. They got to be better defensively. The Mavs got to be better defensively too. They didn't have a lot of turnovers overall, the Mavs, but Luke had 5 of them, but a lot of those possessions that ended felt like turnovers because it was just bad shots. Overall, they took a bunch of threes, and I know that's part of the reason they kept it respectable, but it can't just be threes and shots at the rim. They have to take mid-range shots. That's the only way they're gonna have success. Not the only way, but but they got to add that to what they're doing, because without that, they're not gonna have success in the series. Now having Tim Hardaway Jr. might be their undoing. Now it's one game, so we'll see what game 2 brings. I'll think about it before I pick the game, but they got to be better. It's not good enough. So Luka, he's their best player. He certainly has to be better. Brunson has to play better. Not get himself in out of trouble. You need more from Bullock and Dinwiddie. and they need to get some of these other guys going too. Finney Smith was okay, but I felt he settled for shots too. Like, he was taking a bunch of things. I thought there was opportunities for the mid range, but he hasn't. But I don't think he has a mid range game, and that might just be them doing to the Mavs in the series. I don't want this to be no quick series. I want to see a back and forth, but we'll see what adjustments get made. I do agree, Polo. I don't think it's so much a Jason Kidd adjustment. So I agree with that part. I think the biggest adjustment is just really they just gotta have better shot selection. That's it. They take better shots. They get some more player movement, off-ball player movement. Get some of the other guys, get more of their teammates involved. I think they'll be all right. Now the Suns, they played well because you got Bridges, Cam Johnson. Crowder gave you some good points off in that game. Booker had a good game. Chris Paul, he didn't score a lot, but he made key plays. Like, that's the thing. This is the Suns are playing well right now, and they've been together. Like, they kept a lot of their team together. They had a lot. Most of that team from last year came back, so it's just more continuity. They know how to play off each other. But so we'll see what happens. But Dallas has to do better. Luka, first and foremost, he has to do a better job. Can't be doing all that dribbling. Because they played down the paint and said, all right, we're gonna make you work for everything. We're not gonna give you a clear lane to the paint. And they did a good job in handling and even with the threes he took, like, some were good and then some were, like, he had a few that were good, but a lot of it just some nonsense. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you go subscribe to Polo Sports Talk and ENT. Also, hit the like button, share, subscribe. And yeah, I ain't really got too much else for this one. So until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.